Suit up, strap in, warm the tires, and leave on yellow. Time for the MitsuTimes podcast, presented by MitsuTimes.org, the home of the fastest Mitsubishi cars. With your host, Josh.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the MitsuTimes podcast. My guest today, the infamous Kenny Klein, would be the best way to do it. How are you today, sir?
That's a fun word. That's a new fun word to use to describe me. I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I am great. Always an honor to talk to you. You're so full of knowledge, and I don't see how people have an issue with it because I just love talking to you.
Depends on what side of me you get, I guess.
Yep, that's fair. Well, Kenny, you've been making some waves in your 64 millimeter powered United States Air Force themed 2G with the big wing, and it's super cool because it's something different. It definitely stands out in the crowd. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it? How did this car come to be?
Accidentally, man. Like, I had no plans for this to even happen, to even go this fast. One correction though on your description there is I had to take off the wing. Like, it's just when I'm making the full court. Listen, if you knew how that thing was attached, if you knew how risky that thing is, knowing that thing could come off at any moment, I was like, I'm not going to go down the track with this thing flapping around. So it's there. The wing is there just for cosmetics to trigger certain people and just kind of play the racer part. So I was like, I'm not making a 140, 150 mile per hour pass with this thing on. I'm taking it off. So it's easy to go back on. I'll still run it on my normal stuff, but if I'm going that fast, it's coming off. So quick thing about the car, man. Like, that spiraled out of control with no plan at all. I'm just gonna ramble on real fast about it. Try to keep it as short and simple as I possibly can. That car was in the woods, basically at a shop. Didn't run. Nothing but problems. I bought it for like $500, and I was gonna do enduros with it, which is circle track, crash it up, hit people with it, see you later, bye. Because the car wasn't worth anything, and I kind of had it for a couple years, and it kind of just sat at my buddy's shop, and then they said they came out with these ridiculous spectator drag rules, targeting basically all-wheel drive cars. And I looked at that as like a challenge. I said, "Oh, you're going to put restrictions on all-wheel drive?" I wasn't even racing at this point, and they set some rules, and I was like, 300 treadwear, I'll just put 560s on, like, because I've already been playing that game with them season after season. Mm-hmm. Oh, you have to have 200. Oh, you have to have 300. I was like, 560, let's go. And I don't even care about this car. It was just like a stock turbo, put some head studs in it, a clutch, threw some methanol in it, and just started racing it. It didn't care much. And I cleaned up that one event under their new rules. And then they said, "Oh, we'll do more laps. Let's do a 5-lapper." I was like, "I'm cool with that." And then we did a 5-lapper and cleaned up that. And then they had nothing to really say. And I was done racing that car. I was done with it. I was like, "Okay, cool. It served its purpose. Off to the scrap yard or whatever I'm going to do with it." Then winter was coming around, and I just put it away, and I was like, I'll deal with this maybe next year, or I'll crush it another time. Then Cletus down in Bradenton, Florida, at the Freedom Factory, he put on his first spectator drag event, and I was like, I mean, fuck it, car still runs. Let's just bring it down there. Went down there, sent it a little too hard in the quarterfinals against a C8, windowed the block, threw the stock rod out of it, and I was like, all right, cool, whatever, that was fun. Had no plans for the car even after that. Brought it back home, put it away. Really was just gonna, it was done. It had no plan, like, other than junking it. That was the plan. And because if anyone knew what the underneath of that car looked like, they'd be like, yo, you are crazy to be driving that car around. So then Cletus did the whole $10,000 spectator drag championship thing, and I was like, $10,000. I could basically just get a bunch of mods for free because I put 10 grand into a DSM. I'm cleaning house. So that's exactly what I did. I put 10 grand into it. And then I realized it wasn't enough. So I put another 10 grand into it. So I was 20 grand into it. And I said, well, at least I'm getting like half off. I was trying to justify the expense here. And then it turned in probably a couple more thousand, stopped keeping track. I don't know. I'd say I dropped probably 25, 30 grand for that race into that car. Untested, last minute, couldn't get everything done the way I wanted to, couldn't even test the car, went down there untested and ended up filling up my catch can because it was like my first time running straight methanol. And apparently you need a larger catch can to do that. And it was just filling up too fast. And yeah, it was just a problem. And I was like, man, all right, all right, well, then they were going to have another spectator drag championship thing. And I said, all right, well, let me use the car on these local tracks. I think I raced 2 or 3 times, cleaned house, car was running good, no real issues, converted it to auto and was just dominating. And I said, all right, car's ready for the championship. And then they ended up getting a hurricane down there. And I said, well, all right, we'll go for the next one. And then same thing the following year. And they had another hurricane, another storm that we were already all down there, and they called it. And we were like, crap, man. And we ended up coming back home. So that's 2 years in a row that I built a car for, technically 3, that I haven't really gotten a chance to show my hand. And I had no interest in drag racing it, no interest in doing anything else with it. I don't really drive it, really. I mean, I'll take it out on the street and screw around, but I mean, I hate the car. Like, I have other cars to drive. I'd rather be comfortable, So, so it just kind of just hangs out, and I take it every weekend and, screw around and make sure everything's good, keep the wheels moving and do little things and try not to do a whole lot. Just leave it the way it is. And then they weren't going to do spectator drags anymore down in Florida. And I was like, man, that's kind of disappointing, trying to get them back on that whole thing. But they well, I don't want to say too much, but they're not going to, it's not in the cards right now. So I was like, you know what? Shootout's coming out. I'll bring it to the shootout, make an appearance, go hang out for a little bit. Put a 64 millimeter on it, and swap the intake manifold off because for a while it was stock frame turbo, stock intake manifold. A very easy car to build. And as soon as I put a twin scroll 64 on there, precision turbo, and swapped the intake manifold, the car woke up a lot. And brought it to the shootout, and yeah, was nervous about all the rules and the protesting and all that stuff. And I said, let's just enter some 10.5 index race. And never index race. I've tuned a lot of people. I see it done a lot, and I dial cars in for 10.5, but like I'm not an index actual racer. So I went in there with like complete confidence that I was just going to dominate everybody because I tuned so many cars for index racing. But driving, it's a whole nother ball game. Like I'll tree people all day, but like my issue was I couldn't gauge like how out front of people I was to correlate to like that to a time. So
Right.
like I ended up figuring out like 3 cars ahead was 3/10 or so based on breaking out and doing dumb things. So I was trying to gauge that, try to figure out like how far ahead am I. The brakes don't do a whole lot to the ET, but they will to the mile per hour. And I'm like, all right, and I was trying to turn the car down. I was like trying to do 1.8 60 foots, 1.7 60 foots, like pulling springs out of the gate, launching as low as I can. Like it was just embarrassing to have that caliber of a car just running such a slow time of like 10.5. And even then it was like 10.2. You know, I was like, all right, this is kind of embarrassing cutting 1/8 doing this. Um, and we had, I brought it back home. Oh, well, sorry, at the shootout, I ended up going to the finals, lost to a Honda, totally dropped the ball there. I had him beat, treat him, was out in front, but I broke out.
I don't want to cut you off, but I was there when you had proposed to the guy that let's just do heads up.
Yeah, well, like,
so disappointed that he turned you down.
yeah, so me, my buddy Anthony, Turbo Tony, he had the white onesie and he was on the other side of the ladder and we were pitted with each other. We were, helping each other out. And I said, Tony, we clean house. Let's send these cars. Who cares about winning 10.5 index? Like, that's kind of silly, right? Like, let's just send the cars down the track. And we had like a little grudge thing going on. We were like, I'll beat you. And we were comparing time slips in between our quals and eliminations on our reaction times. We were cutting 0.1s, 0.0s, and we were pushing each other in that aspect. I'm like, see you in the finals. See you in you're done. You're done. And I honestly had no idea how fast my car was. I had no freaking clue. And he was on, and I actually just found this out, dude. Like, shout out to that guy. That guy is an OG, man. He's stock motor. And when I say stock motor, I mean stock valve springs, stock cams. Like, who does that? And he's running and he's running 10.5 index, and we were just at the track a couple weeks ago and he ran a 9.9. Like, who does that crap, right? On a 255 fuel pump and 1200 cc injectors. Like that's like 2005 type crap that you did back then. It's still stuck in the old times. So yeah, we ended up, we had this thing where we were going to get to the finals and we were just going to split the pot and we're just going to run it all out and just old school heads up grudge race. And he ended up, I think, breaking an axle or breaking, I think he broke the T case or the U joint in the drive shaft, one of those things. And he got eliminated in, I think it was the quarter. He got eliminated in the quarter. So then me and the Honda were lined up, and I really had no interest of winning 10.5 index. Like, it was fun to do, but I really wanted to see what the car would do. I don't drag race the car. I don't go to the track. It's not my drag racing's really wasn't what the car was intended for. And I really knew, I was like, I'm really probably never going to get a chance like this. Let's run the cars all out. And the Honda guy was like, no, I'm good. I'm like, dude, like, we'll split the pot.
Right.
We'll split the pot. Like who cares? Like, let's run it. And then he started crying about all-wheel drive and turbo. And I was like, dude, you got a full-blown drag car. Like, stop it. Like, you don't even drive your car to the pits. Like, let's go. He didn't want to engage there. And I was like, fine. You know what? Fucking, you want to act like this? Like, let's do it. Like, treat him. And then I stayed out in front. He screwed up his 2 to 3 shift. He ended up falling back a couple cars, and I just stayed in it. I just wanted to gap him. My old school, just like dominate. I don't know how to let out. I'm like, let's go. I'm just gonna drag you down the track. And then I broke out like a 10.4 or something like that. And yeah, but kind of disappointing there to not be able to do it there, but whatever. Took second in the 10.5 index. Yay! Hopefully everybody's impressed.
Impressed all the dudes.
So bring the car back home, and I'm like, all right, IFO's around the corner. It's like an import face-off type, kind of big. I'm like, I'm gonna go to there, and I'm just gonna run 10.5 index. They tried like a new 10.5 thing. I was like, perfect. My car's already dialed. Like, let's go. And I was out there. I only got like 2 chances at it. I think I qualified like a 10.6 or a 10.7. The air was different here. Didn't really get a chance to dial it in. And first round eliminations, of course. Doing what I do, racing a Honda, and they're all dragged out, all drag car, pushing the line, slicks, gutted, you name it, it has it. And I said, I'm gapping you too. And I didn't know how to let out soon enough. And I mean, I was dragging him. I was like, I put my hand in there. I was like, peace, as I'm like making the pull. And I'm like, later, nerd. and didn't let out soon enough. Ran like a 10-4 or something, and I was like 8-10 cars ahead too. Like I shouldn't have done that. So that ended that, and I was like, "Oh man, all right, well let's go race test and tune, or let's get kicked out." But they didn't have test and tune that day, and I'm like, "Of course!" Like every time I go to the track, the first 2 times I've gone to that track, it's like rain out, and I'm like, "Man, like I just want to make a full pass with this darn car. I want to know what it runs because I make my draggy hits in 8th mile.
Right.
I'm always dealing with traction issues, and I'm never gonna make a full pass like that on the street. The car's too fast to be doing that, and I guess I'm getting old, or my dad's side's coming out. I just won't do it. 10 years, 15 years ago, probably would have done it every weekend, but now I just won't do it. So I was like, let's go up to the track again. Let's go up on street night. Let's make a pass. So I went there, dude, and I was thinking, I'm like, the goalie here is like a 5.9, 5.8 eighth, and I didn't think the car had it in it. And I'm like, like that's where I'd like to be. Like, let's see what it runs. So I make the hit, and I make half a pass, and it cut like a 1.50 60-foot, and the launch is still turned way down, and I think I left at like 8 pounds at like 3,000 RPM, and I made half a pass, led out of it, and coasted. I didn't hit the brakes. I didn't do any of that. Just kind of coasted. Ended up running like 9.8 at like 90 miles, something silly like that. And I didn't even know. So I pull up to the the gatehouse to get my slip.
Yeah.
And they're like, Tech wants to see you. And I said, "Oh no." I was like, "Why? What'd I run?" Like I didn't even make a pass. I was like, "What do they want to see me for? They want to say hi? They want to see the car? I don't freaking know. I didn't even do anything." And then I look at the slip, and I'm like, "Oh my god! I just cut a 5.8, and I didn't even try." I'm like, "That is stupid. That is so dumb to be cutting a 5.8 in this car." Because if anyone knew what the underneath looked like, it's like you don't do that in that car. It's like, you might as well just like cut the floorboards out of that thing.
Oh, jeez.
Dude, so I was like, "Oh man, I'm not even gonna go to Tech." Like, why? They're just gonna tell me I can't run. I'd kick me out too. So, I went back to my pits. I was just chilling. Everyone's like, "Holy crap, Kenny, you should have stayed in it." And I was like, "Yeah, well, I didn't think it was gonna run a freaking 5.8. Like, I don't even have the car turned up." I'm like, Josh, I'm telling you, man, like the thing was like on a small turbine housing. It's like, it's not a drag car at all. It's a street car. Like it's not any type of effort
Right.
pointing towards drag. Like
They're taking
nothing. It's full interior. It's like, there's nothing drag about that friggin' thing. So I go to Tech, and I'm like, "Hey," I didn't even let him start talking. I was like, "Hey, they told me to come see you, and I think my time slip's wrong. Your calibration's wrong on your clock." I'm like, "I think I should make another pass to verify the accuracy." Like all that, dude. I was just,
trying everything.
dude. I mean, they knew I was just bullshitting, right? But I was just like, I was just trying to like sweet talk them, make a joke, make fun of the situation, try to have fun, and maybe they'd let me get back out there. And Tech actually said, "Yeah, sure. We'll let you. We'd love to see you go back out there. You got to clear it with the race director." So I tried to pull that same stunt with the race director. I ended up going up to the tower. He was like, "Yeah, dude, it ain't happening." And I think he thought I was serious when I was talking. I was like, "Listen, man, this is my way of saying I'm sorry. I'm just joking." Like, he was like, "Oh, all right. And I was like, "So again, no chance I'm gonna make a pass." And he didn't even know what I ran in the 8th. He just seen that I ran 9.8. So when I realized it wasn't gonna let me, I told him, I was like, "Yeah, I went 5.8 in the 8th." He was like, "Yeah, definitely not now." I was like, "Yeah, I know that." So I was so disappointed because I only made half a pass. I'm like, "I'm done here. I'm basically kicked out of this track until I put a full cage in this thing," which I don't want to do. The car's just shouldn't be going that fast, even with a 10-point surge gauge. Like, again, underneath, and well, I'll cover that in a second. What ended up happening, but yeah, that's the reason why I'm not doing the rental at World Cup Final, because I just found it. So I was like, fuck it, we're going to Lebanon. We're going to Lebanon, and we'll make the pass there. So no changes. Oh, so I brought the car back. I was like 5.8. All right, we're going to put a bigger turbine housing in it. I'm going to put the side exit on it, and I'm going to run boost to the top of the gate, because I was just boosting the top, boosting the bottom. So I go back out there. Car's kind of still turned down. Timings, I pulled a couple of degrees of timing out, was still out. First gear was pretty gentle and soft, ramping in the boost, because I wasn't sure. I ended up buying some rotas and some QTPs now. So like now I'm pointing the car towards like, let's make an honest effort at this drag thing, because I ran a 5.8, which is like a 8.9 to 9.0 quarter mile pass. And I said, if I do some extra stuff, I'm pretty close to the 6.466 record. I'm a few more tenths away from an ECM link record, and I'm only on a 64. I'm like, let's go for it. Like, so I used what I had laying around the shop. I already had the turbine housing, and I ordered the wheels, and a buddy of mine had the tires, and I'm like, let's just do it. Let's just get it done in a couple days. I go to New York, go to Lebanon. I make half a pass, same thing. And car felt good. And I was like, all right, but I know there's more in it, because first gear's gentle, timing's out of it, launch was turned down, cut it like a 1.46 60 foot. I let out at the 8th, and I got hard on the brakes this time. And I was kind of just coasted through, came around, came back, pull up to the gatehouse. The guy looks at the time slip, looks at me, looks at my car number, looks at the time slip, looks back at me, raises his eyebrows, looks back at the time slip, and I'm like, this guy's going to kick me out for making half a pass too. And so I cut him off real quick. I was like, sir, you seen nothing. And he just delayed for a second, didn't look at me, just put the time slip in my car. And I took it and I drove away. And I was like, oh my God, he's going to hate me in about 30 minutes when I ripped his car down the track, because he definitely like knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah.
I went back. I turned up first gear a little bit more. I turned up the boost more in first and second. And third gear, because I don't like the load in third gear, just for, not that there's like anything wrong with it, but like my opinion, first, second, and a little bit of third is really going to be my short track number that I'm after, and the rest of it's just whatever. So I turned up my first and second gear and boost, tapered it back out in third, and that's it. Went back up there, turned up the launch 100 RPM, ended up cutting like a 1.44 60 foot. Not as good. There is a little delay in first gear because I'm at such a low RPM. 12 pounds, low RPM. I really should spray out of the hole a little bit to get the turbo to ramp in a little harder.
Oh yeah.
The bigger turbine housing it kind of doesn't like that 33 to 4,000 area. It just does. It's like a kind of like a dead area. A lot of people that are racing these cars, they're launching them 38, 4,000 RPM. But I can't do that. I'm on a stock restalled converter. I've already tried to get it up to 37, 38, and it grabs and it pulls through. So, and plus I don't want to run any more boost either. So, the next time I get a shot at it, I'm going to spray a little bit out of the hole just to probably 25 PSI and then have it shut off.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not even running nitrous. I'm doing this without nitrous, period. Like, I'm not using any nitrous at this point. So I go back out there, make my hit. I found the limit of something in the transmission after 3 years. So Aaron's probably going to get a little upset that I'm even exposing this, but it's actually a good thing. I guess it depends how you look at it. I've been beating the hell out of his transmission for 3 years. I'm talking dyno. I'm talking accidentally launching the car in second gear a few times because I just didn't pay attention. And that's second gear is like my gear that I slam on in that car in spectator drags on the street, like everything. Second gear is like takes a lot of abuse. And I don't know much about the internals or what drum it uses, what second gear uses and whatnot. But when I made the hit, when it clicks second gear, usually when it clicks second gear, it hits hard and it like goes even faster. And this time when it hit second, it had this chuttering like a clutch slip, like very light. And I was like, oh, I didn't know what to do. I was like, do I let out? What do I do? Is that the tires? Is that gear? Is that the T case? Is that a lot of different ideas went through my head in a very short amount of time and
Right.
emotions, and then all of a sudden it went away. So, and I stayed in it. I was like, well, it's gone now. And second gear was kind of useless because when it hit second, it did da-da-da, and it really didn't drop in RPM. It slipped. It only dropped to like 7,000 RPM, and like had this slip to it, and the RPM had this ramp in the log, and then it clicked third really quick. So I was like, all right, well that's over. I'm staying in it, and it went 9.0 at 150. I get back, not sure what's wrong. Everything seems fine. I come back, pull up to the gatehouse for the same guys there. He walks up to me and he was not happy. And I just said, buddy, listen, I'm okay with going home. And he was like, that's not the point. You're not even wearing safety pants. You're not wearing fire pants. You're not wearing your shoes. Because I didn't. I was wearing anything. I had my fire jacket and my helmet. I didn't have anything on. And I was like, listen, man, listen. And I just bullshitted him. I was like, listen, I'm sorry. I got excited. The 8th mile felt so good. I just couldn't let out. I just got overwhelmed and I just stayed in it, man. You had to have been there when you just know you're on a pass and you just like, and he was like, all right, listen, you're done for the day. I was like, I understand. I'm cool with that. I'm happy. Just don't hate me. And that was it. I ended up going back to the pits and was like, man, and my concern is second gear. And I'm like, all right. I have my other transmission. I've had this other transmission. When I built one, I built a second one as a backup. And I said, all right, let me get this other transmission swapped in. We'll go to another track day, whatever. We'll see what the car can do. And I don't even know if it's a transmission at this point. I have no idea. But I know that I was supposed to bring this transmission to Aaron like 6 months ago for him to pull it apart and just see where we're at. It lived a hard life, and let's pull it apart. Let's do an inspection. Let's see where we need to make improvements or adjustments and whatnot. And I just never did. I just was, Aaron, it's running great. Like, I beat the crap out of this thing. I probably overheated it a million times. Like, I don't even know. But I never had a reason to even pull it. So if I pulled the transmission out, it was purely for just, I don't know, to get knowledge, information, just to monitor wear and tear, I guess. And I was like, screw that. Like, car runs mint. Like, I'm not working if I don't have to.
Right.
So yeah, so I was like, man, about to have 6 months off. I really know what I need to do. I can spray a little bit out of the hole. And I'm running an intake with a filter on it. I'm like, maybe I'm maxing out the filter. Maybe, I'm who knows? I'm like, there's still some more stuff I can do. With that second gear slip, with what happened, like, I can definitely run 8s. I could definitely do this. Like, how far into the 8s, I don't know, but we're gonna find out. And so I pulled the car into the shop, and I'm talking to a couple friends. We're gonna work up finals, and I'm like, guys, like, you want to tow down my car? Like, they're talking me into it, and I'm like, all right, screw it. I was committed. Let's do it. $400 rental. Let's go. Like, let's go do this at work. Where is there a better time, place, venue, event other than World Cup finals to do this? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I'm about to have 6 months off. We're already going to be there. We'll just bring a trailer. So I was like, screw it, let's do it. So I pull my car in, and I'm putting my car up on the lift, and I'm looking at my like rear tire, and there's this like big gap between on the driver's side between between the rear bumper and the tire itself. I'm like, that's not centered in the wheel well. Why does my tire look like that? And then so I go to the other side and I'm like, huh, that looks normal. That looks pretty centered. And I do the finger measurement. I'm like, all right, 3 fingers here. And then I go over the other side. I'm like, oh my God, this is like a hand. I can fit it in here. So I start pulling it up on the lift and I look at the arm. And sure enough, I don't even want to call it a frame at this point. I ripped the remaining rust out of the other part of the remaining rust.
No.
Rust separated from the rust.
Oh, God.
I've already gone in there and I've already boxed that in because I actually tore that out one time already at a spectator drag event and it put me down. And we boxed it in on that. It was actually a repair that I did, but the metal we used and we welded it actually like tore the metal, it tore the rust further up the frame. And I'm like, all right, if I want to continue to run this car, I'm going to have to really box this in and strengthen this in better because what we did in like an hour didn't hold. It did not like the 1/460 foots apparently. And it tore it right out, dude. So it's like, there's this massive tear in like, I forget what arm, is that the trailing arm? The one that goes front to back?
Yeah.
Here I am for DSM, like, one of the top guys that kind of been around the game for a while with DSMs. I don't even know what arm that is. Listen, tuning, motors, all that stuff, I'm good. Suspension, no idea. I just put coilovers in it and I just send it.
Right.
So, so the trailing arm ripped out of the frame. And I'm like, man, I'm going to have to really box this in and really and I just didn't want to do it. I was like, nope, this is my sign not going to the rental. I'm okay with that. And I just put my car away. I was like, done, cool. So that's where it's going to live for the next 6 months. I might, depending on what I end up doing, I might pull the dash, finish off a 10-point gauge, go get it certed. As long as they don't look underneath the car, and as long as he doesn't listen to this podcast, we should be able to get a sticker on the cage, and I should be able to go run the car. That being said, I would only be doing a cage to run the car basically 1 or 2 times at the drag strip. I have zero interest in drag racing the car competitively. I just don't care for that type of racing. I like old school heads up, like let's grudge race. That's the reason why I love spectator drag so much. It's like run what you brung. You don't have a choice. We line up. May the best man win. Single elimination, 50, 60 cars. Let's do it. There's nothing better than that type of competition, at least for me. Like all the other, that's why index racing 10. I'm like, 10-5, like doesn't really interest me. So if I do it, it'll be to get a time, and then we can circle back to we'll see how the car is.
Yeah.
And I'm eyeing Street Eliminator at the shootout because they're 6.466 restricted or 64 millimeter restricted, and I feel like I have a pretty good shot. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to tree everybody because everyone that I watch at the shootout, not everyone, but the majority of people at the shootout are trash at the tree. They think like a 0.4, 0.5 is like a good light, and I'm like, yeah, okay. So your 8.5 pass is now a 9.0 pass, like
because they only race twice a year, Kenny. Yeah.
So, and I've been drag racing like a long time, like before I had a license. So, like I know Pro Tree, I know how to cut a light. I'm very, very good at that, and I've set my car up to be able to do that pretty consistently. Like a 0.0, 0.1 is where I'm at right now. So, there's probably people listening to this like a 0.08 is actually trash, and it's like, yeah, it is, but maybe in like high professional or high stakes racing, it probably is. A 0.08, 0.09, like a tenth and a half is junk in the real world. But at the shootout, that is gold. Like you just dominate there, and a lot of people don't have autos. So what ends up happening is when you tree somebody, even with a slower car, when you tree somebody and you get out in front of somebody, even if it's a car or two, I'm going to tell you what the other driver's doing because I've been there versus auto cars. All of a sudden you're thinking, you were thinking, launch the car, a lot of moving components right there, got to launch the car, got to go. Got to nail this 1-2 shift. Probably the most important shift in a manual transmission car is that 1-2 because the rest of it's gravy.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta launch the car. You gotta 1-2 it, and when you look out of the corner of your eye and you got treed, even with a faster car, all it takes is that little distraction to screw up your 1-2 or your 2-3. Doesn't take much. And when you have a car that's just out on you a car and a half or two, and you're like, crap, I gotta, and then next thing you know, your race is over before the 3:30. It's happened to me before. I've seen it. People can't deny it unless you don't have peripheral vision that you can't see out the side. Okay, so it's just another element when you get treed. It's like, crap, I can't mess up. Oh my God, I did. It depends on how focused you are as a racer to not pay attention to the other lane.
Right.
So that's what happens. So that's where I'm at with the car. That's where we currently stand. Can't wait to go on vacation with my boys to World Cup final, hang out, bet $1 in the stands.
Yep.
Super pumped for this event. Yeah, and we're gonna have 6 months off. I'm just gonna chill and relax. So that's it, buddy.
This episode of the MitsuTimes podcast is brought to you by Kenny Klein of Just a Tune. He offers both dyno and street remote tuning, track support, remote diagnostics, repair services, and parts sales. He has over 20 years experience with the DSM building, tuning, and racing. Find all that in one person plus the knowledge he brings to the table makes him a one-stop shop for all your DSM needs. I trust Kenny with my FP Black 2G GSX, and he has made everything a breeze. His level of experience is truly worth the price of a tune. He can be reached at Facebook or email, kenny@justatune.net.
Well, Kenny, you said 64 millimeter, and we know that it has head studs. Is there anything else? Are you running the cast intake manifold?
Oh no, yeah. So I have JMF billet drag.
Mm-hmm.
It's still not even a. That's the thing. Like I was nervous about putting that intake manifold on. I bought it, I think like a year and a half ago, maybe more, and I just had it laying around. And I knew I wanted to put it on one day, but I just didn't know when. The Evo 3 manifold, right? It just was working so well with a non-turbo throttle body. As you know, no, we're doing good. We're running good. I had the time. I said, you know what? Let's do it. I'm going to throw it on. I was already in there doing some other stuff. It was in my way. I said, let's make the commitment. I'm going to do the intercooler. I'm going to do so I did a JMF billet, and it is a raw 75 millimeter throttle body. In my opinion, that throttle body is probably the best throttle body you can really run for your off-the-shelf DSMer. And just 2.5 inch aluminum piping, 4-inch core. And yeah, there's nothing like most people have 3-inch. Most people have a 90 millimeter and a 3-inch piping and all that stuff. Nope. Just everything how I built this car was for spectator drags, like fast spool, early power band. That's the reason why I didn't want to put the JMF on. But honestly, like the JMF didn't shift my VE table too much. Like I haven't put it on the dyno since then, but it seems like all my low end is still there. And now I have top end because I had to add a lot to my VE table up top. Mm-hmm. So it didn't really change it didn't shift really that much. And it has a Morrison small runner T4 twin scroll.
What about fueling? I know your expertise is in fueling.
Yeah, I love playing with fuel setups because like everyone, in my opinion, everybody's like skips that part of their build, and I'm like, guys, come on, what are you doing? So it's so easy to like stand out there and just like be the hero because everyone's always maxing out like a single 255 or a single 450. I'm like, guys, stop this, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. This will solve all your problems. Let's go. And I've cheated. I've tried to cheat the whole thing. Dude, let's do the single pump. Let's put in a 525. Let's put in a 535. Let's do all these little tricks. Nothing's worth it, in my opinion. I have a Radium Surge triple. That is the setup I prefer to use on a street car. If you're a drag car, go mechanical. If you're not driving this thing on the street, go mechanical. Um, and call it done. Like less strain on the voltage system, less lines, less crap. But for a street car, put in a surge tank. I don't even care if you are making 500 horsepower. The stock fuel tanks on these cars are terrible. Put a 255 in the in tank and put at least a single surge tank anywhere really in that line, and that will solve all your fuel pressure problems. So a 450, a 255 on pump gas is really all you need, but on ethanol, a 450 will do 500 horsepower ish on E85 on a Mustang dyno. 525 get you a little further. It'll start pushing 550, maybe 575, and then the 535, which is, I believe, a 535 and a 525. They're the same pumps, except the 535 doesn't have a relief valve. So it gets you a little bit further. And more importantly, believe it or not, the 535 pulls less amperage draw than all three of those pumps. Or it pulls like very close to a 450, which is cool. So I have 255 in the in tank, in the stock fuel tank, and I have twin 535s that are on all the time in the surge.
Okay.
So I used to have a 525 535 combo where the 535 was my primary pump, the 525 would kick on and boost. That was great and all, but I'm on ECM Link, ran out of outputs for other controls to do stuff, and I said, you know what? Let's get rid of this fuel pump activation, and we will just do a dual pump on all the time. And it's unnecessary for idle and cruise. Like you just don't do that. But that's I only really race the car anyway, so it's
You
not
beat
like
me to it, but I wanted to emphasize that you were still on ECM Link.
yeah, oh yeah, definitely on ECM Link. I went back to it. It's just easy, man. It's what I'm known for. It's what I do. It's easy. I'm pretty sure that I could do that. Like, pretty sure I could do these ECUs like after a couple margaritas or just with my eyes closed or
Right, while you're sleeping.
They are so easy, man. Like when people struggle with these things, like other shops or other tuners, I'm like, how, why? And I guess we all got to start. So if you're not familiar with something, right? It's just if you're not familiar with something, of course it's going to be hard, no matter what it is, right? So it's like, all right, right. You have your hands, write with your right hand. Okay, now write with your left hand. You're like, wait, what? So I look at ECM like you can't write with your other hand. Like, what is wrong with you? So like, it's so easy, man. Like, it's not even challenging, and it's kind of the reason why. One of several reasons why I kind of don't tune as much anymore because I'm like, I guess I'll do it, sure, and I just blast them out. It's like there's only so many things could be, and with ECM Link with tuning, it's not even tune. People think like tuning is this hard thing. Listen, tuning is not the problem. Like a lot of people blame the tune, and a lot of people will because they just don't know. A lot of people will think it's the tune, or hey Kenny, can you look at this? Can you help me? I'm like, listen, 9 times out of 10 it's mechanical. Mm-hmm. So as a tuner, you can be the best tuner in the world, but if you don't know the platform, or if you don't know what's going on, to be able to like diagnose and actually read a log and be like, all right, these are the things that I know about this platform, and these are the common issues, and like, or just be able to look at a value and be like, that's wrong, fix that. We're not even starting the car yet, fix that. So a lot of people question themselves about ECM Link or the file that they're making because it's very, very user friendly. Probably the best setup you could probably put in your car for most of the DSMers that are doing anything. And listen, it's mechanical most of the time. So just take a moment, take a breath. Don't go adding extra variables in the tune and clicking things and checking things that don't necessarily need to be touched. Just start a log, look at all your values and understand each one and make sure everything reads correctly with key on, engine off. A lot of times I'll see like map sensors not even reading correctly. And I'm like, well, there you go. Not reading correctly. Or coolant temp is like -74. And it's like, well, it's never going to run like that. So like stop and just look at stuff. And then we could talk about starting it after everything reads right. So it's, again, 9 times out of 10, mechanical. And if it's not starting and you're not even getting like a misfire or a stutter or a any type of like reaction, let this sink in. You take fuel and you take some sort of ignition, fire, match, whatever, and you throw it on the ground, it's going to light. Like, we all know how to light a fire with fuel. I'm sure we've gotten excited, right?
Right.
Same thing with the car, man. Like, if everything's good in the tune that you know of and the log looks good, stop. And it's still not starting, stop. Make sure RPM's reading. Go check. Make sure you have fuel. Make sure you have fuel pressure. Make sure you do a spark test. Check the mechanics of it. And again, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be something not tune related. And that's what tuning is for me a lot with ECM Link, because I'm like, okay, here's some instructions. And I feel terrible tuning cars and taking payments. I won't even take payments when people hit me up anymore. I'm like, listen, nope, I'm logging into your car for free. I'm not taking your money. I'm not doing anything. We're just going to do this. Let's make sure the car runs. Because a lot of times, man, I would take payment. I would send a file, send it to them. And then like a lot of people have this expectation that I'm like supposed to be like in bed with them every night, holding their hand, trying to figure out why their car doesn't run. And I'm like, listen, buddy, I can't help you. Something mechanical is going on. So now, to offset any type of complaints or any of that stuff, and holding hands and dealing with being a being a psychiatrist and
Right.
a therapist for a lot of these people, I just go, I'm not trying to understand how your brain works and the emotions and any personal things you got going in your life. I just walk into the car. If it idles and runs and I like what I see and everything's good, I'll go, okay, let's get it done. And that's when I start my process now. So I guess I open the door to be exploited for a idle tune, free idle tune, if someone wanted to, but it's just a way to protect myself and not deal with any drama anymore.
Well, since I know you probably have the inside scoop, will we get a DSM Link version 4?
I do not have an inside scoop there as much as you probably think I do. Tom entertained it for a little bit a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think he had something or was doing something, but it's tough, man. Like, the support's there for V3. Not a lot of people. You have to understand, like, would a lot of people go V4? Absolutely, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to understand, when you do something for so long and you just lose I'm not saying that this is his case, but if me looking at it from the outside, like other hobbies that I've had or done, when it just doesn't, when there's nothing driving you there, it's like, all right, sure, will it generate revenue? What is, is it worth it? What is the profit margin? Like,
right.
How many people are sure, all that comes into play, but at the end of the day, man, like, you have to have that passion.
Right. You need to motivate.
Yeah, you have to have something else behind it, because anyway, you can make money doing anything, really. jump online, sell feet pics all you want, but like to do that, that probably started as a hobby, as like interest, like you had passion behind it, you wanted to do it. And, I don't know. I can't answer for him, but um, I haven't seen any traction there for a little bit. And he could just be working on it in the background. Who knows? But I don't know of anything at all right now.
I heard a rumor once that you were the tester for it, so I figured I'd probe.
Well, I kind of mentioned it, and I would definitely help if he switched. I would definitely help him. I'd be one of the guys, So, hey guys, this is V4. Tested it. These are the extra things you get.
Right.
And like it would just make sense, absolutely. But just kind of have to chill and wait and see, I guess.
Well, Kenny, where can people find and follow you on social media so they can see some more of this sweet 2G, other than the underside shot?
Oh, the business of impressing other men. Instagram, Just the Tune Bro. Facebook, Kenny Klein, if you're not blocked. I got a TikTok now, and it's kind of, I don't really use it a lot. The same thing on TikTok, Just a Tune Bro. And I'm not really into the whole posting videos stuff and photos. I try to, but I more just talk on social media and just kind of shoot the shit and just kind of just be me. And
Also on Grinder as Kenny Klein.
yeah, I mean, I don't use that name. Like that's I use a different name there. So Josh, I was just thinking, I was like, holy crap, we're 50 minutes into this interview. I've said probably like I'm 2,300,000 words, and you said like 50 words. So it's my turn to ask you a question, buddy. Okay.
All right.
Do you even have a DSM?
I do, yeah. You did at one point. Then I switched to house.
I know, but yeah, sure, whatever. Where is it, dude? What's going on? Tell us about your car.
I don't want to get anyone's drama going here, but I had taken it to a shop back in 2021 to switch it over to Haltech and make it control the transmission, all that stuff. Since you recommended I get a sweet built transmission, did all that stuff thanks to DTR in Oklahoma. And the shop held on to it until 2025. They went out of business and abandoned my car in their parking lot. And my wife and I went and broke into the parking lot. Now they let the company who owns it now lets us in, and we rescued it and brought it back home.
All right. Well, if you need help with it, you let me know.
Well, I definitely.
I'm sorry to even ask, because now you're making me feel bad, like, because it sounds like a sensitive subject, and I'm sorry to even be laughing, but like this is totally unscripted. I had no idea. Like, that's the reason why I'm asking.
It's apologize.
Apologize again. If you need help, I got you. Just let me know.
Had that thing for like 15 years. It's only got 85,000 miles on it.
Well, let's go. Let's let me know what we need to do, buddy, because I got stuff laying around. Even if it's just like, hey, where's the car at? Send me some photos, like whatever we got to do. What state do you live in, anyways?
I live in Indiana.
Oh, all right, dude. We can figure something out. I need a vacation. Come down there, turn some wrenches. Take a stab at it. You never know.
Close to Aaron Gregory though, so if you're ever making a stop over there.
All right.
Yep. That's what's going on.
All right, man. Well, don't quit. Don't give up. Stick with it.
Never. Harley,
you got a pretty good sized network and resources available to you that would like to see you bring that car to the shootout next year. Is that all a goal at all, or?
Oh yeah. Yep. I want to do not just a shootout though. I want to hit up all the ISOs, do all that fun stuff. I don't want to be the typical shootout and
yeah. But like, do you know how many customers bring their car to the shootout and I say, people hit me up and it's near that, and I'm like, dude, trailer your car to the shootout. Harley was one of them.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that's the thing with Harley. Like Harley was a cool charity case, I guess, because no one was helping him, and I was like, buddy, like I got you. Bring your car to the shootout. We'll figure it out in the parking lot. And yeah, look at him now. He's
That was what, 2 years ago?
I think it was more than that. I think it was, honestly, people don't even know about the first time that he ever came down, because I remember he showed up in his truck and landscape trailer and had this car on. It barely ran. He had a plexiglass front windshield with no support in the middle, so it was just flapping around. And I did what I could with what he had, and we got it running, and he was pumped to make his 30-second quarter-mile pass.
I remember that.
So, dude, when he did that, I was like, dude, that to have the bar set so low there, right, and be so happy and so excited, I'm like, damn, that financially, that is like the best thing ever, because like it's like, all right, like cool, like he had an awesome time, and we had no plan. He had no plan. I was like, we'll see where this takes us. Like I gave him instruction. Let's see if he followed. And he did, and then he decided he wanted to do autocross at the end of the drag strip, and didn't work out. But I try to make jokes about serious stuff, because it's my way of coping with stuff. But
he would do the same.
So then he fired me. So
I love that.
But apparently I'm rehired. I don't know. We'll talk about it later. But. I don't know. He'll figure that part out for himself. He's learning.
All right, Kenny, thank you so much for taking the time to come on here and tell the story of your beautiful 2G. I hope people go and check it out, and you can impress some more dudes and get you back out there.
Yeah, awesome, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the MitsuTimes podcast. Check out our Instagram and Facebook for daily updates. Get added to our list by going to MitsuTimes.org and clicking Submit a Slip. Thank you to all of our sponsors.